Okay, hello and welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Let's continue with Half-Life 2. We were maybe about I think over the halfway point for episode 2. So we'll be continuing with that. Yeah, it took a little while to show up there. Sorry. But yeah, here we go. Riding shotgun. We just defeated a bunch of hunters. They're called hunters. I kept calling them stalkers. They are hunters. Let me just check that there's nothing else left around here for me to collect. Want a big kit? No.
Let's get driving, Gordon.
Gosh. I am exploring. I am looking for items. The pickups is what keep us alive, Alyx. Well, I've got that. Anything on this? Hey, there's a crate. Armor. Nice. Did those explode?
Let's get driving, Gordon.
I don't think so. They're the two big gas canisters. Is there anything up the top there? Oh, chair. Gordon, I swear if you don't get on the road right now, I'm going to start walking. Okay, fine, let's go.
Let's get driving, Gordon. Let's keep going. See if we can pick up the road somewhere ahead.
You're trolling this. I'm not sure whether it handles the same as the
Hey, I know that
as the
gate.
buggy.
You can see it from White Forest. We're heading the right way.
Okay. I wonder how long you've lived here in City 17.
This crashed advisor
It's
pod.
one of those advisor pods. Back in the Citadel, those things we saw.
This crashed advisor pod is a bit of storytelling embedded in the landscape. It hints at what lies ahead, while suggesting what must have happened in this location only a few hours before Gordon and Alyx arrived. By placing artifacts of this sort throughout the episode, we slowly bring advisors into the foreground and develop their importance to the story in a way that doesn't depend on stage dramatic scenes.
Yes, showing, not telling. I mean, it's effective. Man, but this car is noisy. Oh. Yeah, let's have a look here.
What was that?
Sorry, I broke a bug.
There it is again.
Alex, are you doing something to this car? Stop honking the horn.
There's an advisor around here someplace.
Well, they know we're here now.
Looks like we weren't the first to find this place.
Hey, you've got the little doohickey. Open the door. No? Okay. Well, you're coming down here. This is really just like aliens in the barn.
I think we found our advisor.
Don't go poking it. I can see something moving inside of it.
The Vort said we should kill them before they hatch. Life support. What do you say, Gordon? Shall we pull the plug?
It's not supporting his life.
Sorry about this. Maybe I can get this open. There we go. Over to you, Gordon.
What? Oh, right. We'll read those afterwards. I hope they're still here.
Whoa! Oh my god!
Whee! I like the debris shields they create.
Oh my god. Gordon. Thank God you're all right. That thing was hurt. Did you see it? I can only imagine what it would have done if... Uh-oh.
Autonomous units subsumed.
Sounds like it called its friends.
With all tenets of adversarial assistance act.
Soldiers!
Threat level adjustment. Probe. Expunge.
The barn scene was critical both to this episode and to the development of advisors as characters in the series. They represent another intersection of story and gameplay concern.
Great shot!
This is the first time the player actually interacts with an advisor, and determining the right level of interactivity was tricky, especially given the player's reasonable expectation that he'll get to fight them directly at some point. Therefore, we wanted to show that they were powerful, but not invulnerable. This was a long-term goal. For the short term, we wanted to get the player familiar with some advisor behavior, so that when the episode finale occurred, they would already understand how advisors operate. By showing the advisor fumbling with an inert object, then a dead rebel, and finally grabbing the player, We allow the player to observe behavior and then gradually make it more and more of a direct threat. This all serves as foreshadowing for the episode's finale.
This swirling debris effect uses much of the same underlying technology that powers our other cinematic physics events in Episode 2, but with a few important differences. Firstly, instead of using primitives, every slat, tile and beam was modelled before being sent to the rigid body solver. Next, there was a large focus on hand-sculpting world forces in order to achieve a particular behaviour in the debris. Beyond the basics of gravity and collisions, we created spiral vortices, gravity wells, and some other more complex forces. With over 1,800 individually calculated dynamic moving parts, for a 30-second period, this simulation represents the largest amount of animation data run through our game engine to date.
It looks pretty impressive. Hello, welcome, Kibbit. Like, it's not just a big sort of animation going on. It seems like it's actually a whole bunch of individual pieces. I can't actually move them around.
We've gotten better at building combat spaces that are open and tactically versatile, while still directing the player toward an optimal play experience. This combat is on its face pretty straightforward, but we're doing some subtle things to keep the experience even and well-paced. We're using quite a few of our combat tools in this one scene. As the first soldiers enter the barn, we send them in the right direction with an initial cue about the player's location using an NPC enemy finder. The first soldiers serve primarily to draw the player outwards, where the real meat of the combat takes place. The wave of soldiers that spawns as the player rounds the corner to the exit are the most directly controlled. One pair uses assault points to dash across the open ground and flank the player on the right. Others are constrained to hint groups in and around the house across the way, spaced so that the player is hit with an even front of fire, keeping them pinned for a while and encouraging cautious sniping and probing at the windows and doors. The broken down truck gives a vital bit of mid-ground cover as players leave the barn and advance on the house. Finally, as the player leaves the barn, we spawn the reinforcing hunter. We hold this back both to keep the difficulty more even, and because the hunter combat is better when the player has pushed outwards before it begins.
There's actually a sentence in there which you didn't read.
We've gotten better at building combat spaces that are open and tactically versatile, while still
Others are
directing the player
constrained
toward
to
an
hint
optimal
groups
play
in and around
experience.
the house across the
This
way,
combat
space so
is
that
on
the
its
player
face
is hit
pretty
with an even front of
straightforward,
fire,
but
keeping
we're
a
doing
pin
some
for a
subtle
while.
things to keep the experience even
The
and
hit groups
well-paced.
are important because they
We're
keep the
using quite a
soldiers
few
in
of our
strong
combat
tactical
tools in this
positions and
one
prevent
scene.
them from rushing the player
As
to
the
their
first
own
soldiers enter the
disadvantage,
barn, we
as
send
they
them in the
would if left unconstrained. Okay. So, to get them more focused on attacking the player, they use these points. Otherwise, they'd all just sort of run at the player and keep themselves exposed. I guess that's what they did in a bunch of fights in other areas in Half-Life 2. Are you upstairs? Yeah, he was.
No more. No more. We've got to get out of here.
Ah! How the heck did they park that there? Uh-oh.
Let's get out of here.
we're going the right way. Oh, right. Roll of ice. No, not rollers, just the bombs. Well, I like that they're using them again. Great. Damn it. I can't turn this around here. It's too narrow. Fine, we're driving backwards. Hold on. Commentary.
Playtesters loved to see the zombie jump on the front of the car, and this naturally encouraged us to want to do more of it. We started off with a high frequency of occurrences of this behavior, treating the zombie leap as a gameplay element that could be played out in variations. Eventually, though, we discovered that this didn't lead to any really interesting gameplay, so we ended up creating just one memorable showcase of the event instead.
I hope I didn't miss any points back there. I might have. Sorry. There we go. Blue.
This way.
Well, poor car.
Since you brought that chopper in on your tail, you want to maybe help us take it down?
Oh, with pleasure.
Nah.
Take it down!
Yeah, that works.
That's gonna leave a mark.
I think the hitbox is actually a fair bit larger.
Your own medicine.
There's actually no one piloting these.
Hey, over here.
I need a big kit.
That was amazing. They threw their minds right back at him. Well, I could sure use a drink.
We need to get back on the road, but our engine's shot to hell. I don't suppose you got any tools for working on cars.
Tools? Got a whole shop over here. Come on, we'll get you set up.
Okay, one moment.
Originally, the Episode 2 chopper battle was a classic fight that relied on the use of the RPG. In the meantime, we were experimenting with a completely new way of fighting the chopper, which we had hoped to have ready for Episode 3. The early Episode 3 experiments were so successful that we pulled them straight into Episode 2.
Sounds like they actually had some parts of Episode 3 done. Or at least, not done, but, you know, exploring, like, with certain environments for Episode 3. I guess that's like, you know. I guess there's a given. Because I think, was it like Group 1 worked on Episode 1, and then Group 2 worked on Episode 2, and the Group 1 worked on Episode 3? After they finished Episode 1. Hello, welcome. 1, 2, 4, 5. Counting is easy. Yeah. They went to the Leisure Suit Larry School of Counting, where you just skip a number every now and then. 1, 2, 3, 5. Anything else here? No? Okay. How's it going?
I give the Combine a lot of credit, though. They're tough competitors. A real class act.
Shut up.
I wouldn't want to be invaded by just any old, you know, alien space species. You gotta put your effort into it, right? So I don't think they actually are putting effort into this. Oi!
You weren't kidding.
Don't
We'll be back on
be.
the road in no time.
Well, that could be a problem. You hear that autogun going off out there? We normally run supplies out of the White Forest base, but a few days ago the Combine cut off access.
What do you
Zombos.
think, Gordon? Maybe while I'm getting the car fixed up, you can see about clearing up that roadblock.
All the fresh zombies coming out of City 17 have kept them pinned down. It's just a matter of time till the troops start pushing this way. If you think you're up to it, we'll let you out there.
Huh. He's always up for it. Right, Gordon?
We got a trap door up here where I can let you over to the other side. That way you'll get to see the gun before it sees you.
I'm kind of surprised people haven't come up with some solution to hand crabs like an armored dome helmet which attaches to the shoulders or something.
Good luck taking out that autogun.
Hand crabs don't seem like they'd be smart enough to be able to pull something like that off.
Originally, there was a second driving section between the chopper battle and the autogun trenches. The pacing felt wrong, so we decided to remove it and connect the end pieces so that the train yard opens directly into the garage.
Hey, don't worry about us. See this car? We're fixing it up and getting the hell out of here. Driving to Hawaii. Beaches, babes, and waves. Tell you what, if you ever get sick of this rebel crap, you know who to talk to.
Driving to Hawaii, eh? Maybe because the oceans have been drained, that would actually be feasible.
Playtesters often fail to recognize that they could scramble through windows while they were avoiding being shot by the autogun. We added this window exit and forced players to use it so that they would learn to rely on windows to get around.
Boink.
Some playtesters didn't realize that they would need to climb over trucks to navigate around the autogun emplacement. So we added this truck jump early in the level as a form of introductory training.
Like the windows, the same thought process. Hold on a moment. I'm seeing something flying around. I think it's a moth. If it was a mosquito, then I'd have to take some time to deal with it. Where's all this sludge come from? Well, I guess a whole bunch of places. That was lucky. Oh, there's the autocannons.
In order to train players that crouching through the trenches is critical for survival, we did several things. First, we start the player in a safe position by forcing them to crouch under the fence to enter the area. Once inside, they learn by watching the zombies. Upright zombies are gunned down, but their torsos are free to roam in the shadow of the junk. Some playtesters believe that while the guns were busy shooting zombies, they would be able to move freely. To counteract this impression, we increased the number of guns from 1 to 3, making it clear that there was always going to be a gun free to shoot the player.
And the fast zombies actually make the same on fire sound effects that the normal zombies make. Damn it. I move a little bit away from the car. Them over the wall. Oh, great. Come on. There we go. fluid in them isn't actually animated.
Zombies serve the double purpose of horror and humor. Here, since we knew where the player's view would be, we added a comical scene of a fast zombie torso running away from a soldier. I've got more grenades than you do hit points.
The original design for this sequence involved shutting down the cannon by flipping a switch. That was neither obvious nor rewarding. We decided to let the player blow it up instead, which gave us another opportunity to use our cinematic physics.
I'd actually completely forgotten about this thing. Oh, right. Boom. And we blew a hole in the wall. But now, what about all those zombies? Why is there so many zombies? Oh, right, they did say that they were coming from CD17.
Hey, Gordon, the car's ready. Come on back and we'll get going.
Once we added the onboard radar to the Strider battle at the end of the episode, we needed to train the player in its use well before they reached that area. This garage was already in the game as a place where Alyx needed to stay while the player went alone through the autocannon area. It was a perfect fit to have the mechanic rebels add their radar to the car while Gordon was busy somewhere else.
Hey, Gordon! Get in, Gordon! Not only did they help me fix the car, they threw in a bonus.
Special this week only. It's like an onboard radar for you guys. Picks up little beacon jobbers like this one here. We've hidden a bunch of these things out there in the field to signal emergency stashes. So keep an eye out. When you see your dashboard light up, you're gonna want to stop and investigate.
I'll fill you in on the road, Gordon. Thanks again, you guys.
No, it's really complicated.
Let's do it.
Don't get any of the goop on you. You don't have it.
There goes the radar. Stop the car, Gordon.
You don't have any
According
passive.
to the radar, it
You
looks
don't
like
have any hazard suit.
There's a lot of energy that goes into shaping Alyx and making sure she stays on the right path.
It must be
or
this van.
stays true to the vision that I think we have for her. You know, I want Alyx to be liked. I know everybody at Valve wants Alyx to be liked. But what is really great is that if I get off course or if I've been in the booth too long and I'm starting to sound a little naggy, then I have somebody who's there to kind of pull me back and say, hey, why don't you try it this way, or I think you're veering off course and starting to sound like like somebody's mother or something, you know, because I'm there to help, and if you're lost, you know, the get goings or stuff like that, to help keep the game moving and keep you on track. And you know, there's a kind of a fine line. You don't want somebody constantly bothering you, but you also want a friendly companion. You know, you want somebody to help you out once in a while. So trying to not go one way or the other was a bit of a trick for us.
I do think they could have lowered the frequency of NPCs telling you, hey, come on, do this, or and that type of stuff. Hang on. No. Okay, right, we're blowing it up. Pop.
I guess you cleared up that little problem.
No. Anything else around here? You like how she simply uses her own voice. I think it's very common for voice actors. It's always weird to see like a voice actor's face for a character which you know well. And to see the character's voice coming out of their mouth, it always looks weird. Oop. Yeah.
Hey, something on the radar.
Nice move. Good job running into that zombie. Thanks. It's like... I never got my driver's license. My kill count's still not as high as it was back in Black Mesa. What? What?
I'll keep watch out here if you want to look inside for the cache.
Strong attention to visual design in this room make this unconventional puzzle both intuitive and rewarding.
Oh yeah, right.
To begin with, the room is sparse, with a reward clearly visible but locked up in the cage. A strange centerpiece draws the player's attention, and the visible switch is obviously a part of the solution. The health charger next to the switch hints that the solution involves getting onto the catwalk rather than activating the switch from the ground. The van entrance discourages players from bringing in objects they might use to solve the puzzle by stacking. The lone grenade crate is a strong suggestion that grenades figure in the solution. And finally, the corpse in the rafters and the scorch marks on the ground and the storage bell provide the most important clue.
Damn it! This is a neat one. I forgot about this. I forgot about that. That's a neat puzzle. Quite silly, but... Grenade jump?
Rocket launcher. That'll come in handy.
Rocket launcher? Do we need to go that way or the other way? Apparently more things in here.
So the circumstances around creating Alyx
We're getting a
were
signal,
so
but I don't
kismet
see anything.
It's almost a little
What
scary.
do you think, Gordon?
I mean, if you think of the ideal super self that you want to be, like, I don't know, badass moves and being able to karate chop everybody, and then add on to that having a rider to make you sound witty at every turn, it's like having an uber self for me. So I immediately fell in love with Alyx.
Ah, you found it. Uh-oh. I think the zombies want their stuff back.
Oh, you better kill them.
Burn them!
More rocket launchers. Missiles. Why? Oh, over there as well.
watch
The approach to the White Forest Inn contains a number of elements that set the scene for the coming ambush. The road is blocked by Combine walls. A soldier spots you in the distance and radios you in, and two hunters run across an opening on the far side of a fence. All these clues are there for the attentive player to spot directly, or to create a sense of growing apprehension in the player who might be paying slightly less attention to the details.
So in each episode, we start by agreeing on how to use color choices to create and reinforce the right thematic tone. The tint of a scene can be a powerful source of mood. Episode 1 was pervaded by deep reds. For episode 2, we made heavy use of blue tints in the outdoor areas. The blue was meant to set an ominous tone, while the warm splashes of sunlight were intended to offer visual contrast that suggests a glimmer of hope.
The radar's going off, Gordon. Now, why would the Combine put a roadblock way out here?
They want people to use their tollway?
A question I get asked a lot is, what is the big difference between acting for a stage and film and then acting for a video game? Because this is the first time I've ever done a video game. In general, in acting, it's helpful to have a director's clear vision from which to spring. Then the actor can run with the idea, play with it, imagine new things, fill it out, and make it a tangible thing or a tangible character. And the great thing about video game acting for me is that I'm completely unlimited. I'm not bound by what I can do physically or how I look or what kind of environment that can be physically created. So the possibilities are completely limitless. There are no boundaries with this. So when we get together and we talk about what the scene is, when they set the stage for me and what environment I'm going to be in, I immediately get a complete high, and I can only imagine that it is something like how somebody gets when they actually see the game, because it blows my mind, the pictures that they paint about where we are, what situations we're in. So we discussed that a little, and then from there, I just kind of go on, I guess, instinct is the only way I can really describe it, because I just take what they give for me and kind of volley it back in the way that it comes out immediately. So I just go into my little dark booth, and I can imagine that I'm anywhere. And it's the best kind of make-believe for a storyteller. When you just aren't limited.
I'll put him inside the car, so he'll just sit up there. Oh, skeleton. How far did he get? Yeah, came along pretty far. Come on.
This could be Combine handiwork. Hard to be sure.
Oh, I thought that was a Combine
so many ways
soldier.
to die out here.
Rabid birds. Where are we? Eastern Europe. They've got bears there. They've got bears in Finland. Maybe wolves? Or... Oh, I like this little village. It's neat. What's this called? Oh, White Forest Inn.
seems deserted. This place must have been nice once. I wonder how long it's been since anyone stayed here.
20 years.
To complement the hunter's aggressive AI, the White Forest Inn was designed with a non-linear floor plan. There are multiple ways in and out of each room, as well as alternate routes to the basement and to the second floor. As the player moves through the inn, the hunters often select a shorter route and surprise the player by arriving first or by heading them off altogether. The last hunters that enter the building destroy 2 of the doors that have trapped Alyx and the player inside. Removing these obstacles opens the entire outdoor arena for combat, allowing the player to choose whether to fight the hunters within the building or take them on outside.
Well, I don't see any of those around here, so...
The inn is designed as a crafted experience that is controlled but not linear.
Let's keep
The
going.
encounter is intended to create a heightened sense of danger without actually being particularly dangerous. The idea is to create opportunities for some memorable unscripted combat moments by keeping the player a bit on their heels. Normally, Alyx is out of frame during combat and soldiers don't survive very long. By encouraging the player to move back from the windows, the map creates space for Alyx and the soldiers to exhibit interesting behaviors that reinforce the mood of the siege.
Well, I'm not seeing any attack just now.
One issue with a number of our encounters with the Combine is they don't live long enough for players to experience some of their more interesting AI. Some unique elements introduced here with respect to the Combine are branching assaults, so the soldiers introduced to the field don't take up predictable positions, flexible assault points, so that soldiers can stray from designer-specified locations to establish line of fire or cover, assault progression, a feedback system so that soldier advances respond to player actions and skill rather than timing, giving soldiers different tactical roles. For instance, squads in the field distract the player, allowing other soldiers to execute surprise moves not present in our typical frontal assault scenarios. The net effect of these changes is that the soldiers appear to have awareness of the layout of the building that you're trapped in, and a strategy for flushing you out.
Do I need to drive the car around the corner?
It's a trap! Gordon, come on, get inside!
There's a tarp! I knew it!
We're surrounded!
Good. Well, we don't have to wait. Listen to them wasting all their ammo.
Let's take him out!
What if we go down here?
Talking about us. They're still after the data packet. Shooting, Gordon. Gotta reload. These hunters are tough.
Eh. Well, that did.
3 at a time. It's too much. Let's get moving before they send more.
It was a neat attack. I liked how they kept firing at the windows. I do kind of think that they spent a lot of their time firing at the windows even when we weren't near the windows. Like, after a short while of not seeing us visually, they should probably advance on the place a bit more. Maybe they were scripted to hold off for a while. And yeah, we have to go back up there. Where did that go? Over there. Over here.
Take that turret down, Gordon.
Uh-oh.
There's the power source for the shields. Huh, they haven't skimped on security either. Let me see if I can disable the shields and get you closer to the reactor. Okay, it looks like I can open them from here, but I won't be able to come in with you. Here goes. Sorry, Gordon. This thing's fried. Since I can't get in there, why don't I stay warm outside the power cell? We've had enough surprises for one day.
You stay in here. That way you won't get picked off. Oh, okay. Oh, bad. Well, yeah, there's a vent over there. And I did destroy those crates. Well, they destroyed my crates. How the... Climb into the vent, probably. No? Let's just go this way then. Yeah, there we go. What's that? Hmm. Hey Alex, can I give you this shotgun so you have it later? Oh yeah, this. You have to punt it out there. Because if you punt it in here, it will just keep popping into the, it will just keep popping into the, charger.
Let's hope there's no more Combine between here and White Forest.
Sometimes, even in an action game, it can be hard to convince players to act like an action movie hero. Here we wanted the player to make a 150-foot turbo jump off the edge of the road and crash into boxes at the bottom. Instead, wary playtesters routinely took the safe way down. To encourage more recklessly heroic behavior, we disguised the easy path and added obvious ramps to clearly communicate this was a legitimate feature of the level.
Can't read it from here. Well, we're responsible car drivers.
As I'm sure a lot of people know, I perform on Broadway, and sometimes people will show up at the stage door with Alyx Vance posters to sign, or just an encouraging word about the game, and just, oh my gosh, I saw in the playbill that you played Alyx Vance, and it gets me so hyped when people come up to me and are excited about the game, because I don't get that immediate feedback that I get on stage every night. So when somebody tells me that they liked it face to face, it's really, really exciting to me. But so I guess a couple of people have taken pictures with me at the stage door. And I went through a phase where I wanted to know what people thought of the game. So I was looking on like message boards and checking out what the chat was. And I found this thread that had a picture of me with somebody at the stage door. And they're talking about, look, this is me with Alyx Vance. And the first response was, she is so ugly. I thought that was cute.
Sure. Oh.
Do you mind if I wait in the car?
Ow! How freaking close was I to that? Oh well. How did I get hurt by that fire? One moment.
You know, it's a good thing I don't get car sick.
Sorry, the car was stuck.
We're picking up something on the radar. I'll stay with the car.
Yeah, I see it. It's up there. Arr. I think something just collapsed, but I wasn't looking at it. Log. There's some ammo up there as well. I've already got it. Okay.
Doesn't sound good. I'll wait here.
In the source engine, we use a realistic radiosity lighting simulator to generate lighting detail for the geometry in our game worlds. In previous games using the source engine, shadows were simulated as if cast by totally opaque objects. In Episode 2, we needed to render large wooded areas, which required us to modify our shadowing technology to account for the sparse, semi-transparent nature of foliage. With these upgrades to our radiosity lighting simulator, we are now able to realistically illuminate the trees themselves, as well as generate soft, semi-transparent shadows on the environment around them.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice in the forested areas. Especially with the cast shadows. They're very small little forested areas, but no, they look nice. Especially for, I think this came out in 2007.
I think that's White Forest. Well, we're close enough to make it the rest of the way on foot if we have to.
Okay.
Our main goal with this scene was to create a cinematic battle of the Titans,
That must have been
dog
the
versus
crash
a
we heard.
strider. While
White
we were
Forest
excited
sentries
with
are
the
doing their
earlier
job.
implementations, it became obvious that players were uncertain of their role in the scene. Originally, the confrontation built slowly, with dogs squaring off against the strider. But having such a slow beginning proved problematic. It looked great in the trailer, but didn't play well in the game. Instead of the slow build, we decided to send Dog straight into action. He makes a grand entrance, jumps on the strider, and the fight is on. The quick start helps to grab the player's attention instead of giving them too much time to worry about what they ought to be doing.
So, assuming we don't end up opening this gate, that seems like a rather unceremonious end to just stopping driving that.
The Strider has big parts of him that rip off. He spews goo everywhere. He's a great testbed for new modeling technology and our new particle system. We custom built him just for this sequence. With our episodic process, a lot of new technology comes online throughout development. Since any new technology takes a year or more to really work out all the bugs, we like to look for isolated areas, like this one, where we can test out new things without risking all the things we know already work. We did this with HDR in our Lost Coast demos. Once we're sure we didn't break anything, we can move the features back into general use. Since the Strider worked out really well here, he'll be the new Strider as we move forward, and we'll be applying what we've learned to any new monsters in Episode 3.
Alyx's robot dog is cobbled together from spare parts, all of which are in various states of disrepair. For Episode 2, we chose to use shading techniques to improve the look of Dog and better convey his scrapyard origins. Along with upgrades to Dog's texture maps, his shader now uses a combination of Phong shading and environment mapping to increase the apparent detail and diversity of materials, from rusty bolts to the damaged metal flaps salvaged from a combine scanner.
Racing Dog to the base was not a preconceived plan. It was born out of testing the level over and over, and repeatedly trying to keep up with Dog as he ran to the base. This was sufficiently fun for us that we began to figure out ways to encourage players to do it too.
Oh, maybe we do actually continue with the car.
What the hell? A strider! Over here, Gordon! Wait, it sounds like... Dog? Are you all
Hey,
right?
pulled out its brain.
Wake up, dog. Please.
It's got a brain for him.
You're all right. You had me worried there. Everything working all right? Good.
You all right down there?
We're fine.
Is dog okay?
Better now.
We've been waiting for you. Just follow the stream, then head up the other side. White Forest is right there. You can't miss it.
I like how this glows.
Thanks. Okay, let's go.
Ooh, brain.
Come on, Gordon. Get the car and we'll challenge Dog to a race. Good boy.
Oh, you're moving that. Well, hold on. Oh, I can't go up there. Yeah, you get to see inside of it a bit. There is a spine in
car,
there.
Gordon.
And it's a bit more gooey looking.
Looks like we need your help again. Would you mind? Way to go, boy! Okay, dog. Race you to the base. Step on it, Gordon.
That parked.
Better luck next time, Slowpoke. Let us in. So, a really cool experience was that while I was at Valve, I was talking to one of the animators in the hallway, and we're just carrying on the conversation. I was getting to know what he did, and I just happened to be looking over my shoulder and noticed that people kept popping their heads out of their offices. And one of the other guys noted to me that these people, ooh, bless them, they have to sit around and listen to my voice all day long. So for that voice to be kind of just chatting in the hallway was a little weird. And I guess I kind of liken that, I can understand it, because the very first time I saw my voice on Alyx Vance's face, it was so bizarre. And so when I watch people talk to me for the first time and they've heard my voice as Alyx, and they have the exact same expression, I'm like, I understand, I get it.
Nothing around here. I can't climb up there. What about over here? That's a nice vista. I mean, you can see the limit, you know, limits of the area. It's rather bare over there. These trees are made using those, like, flat sprites on the hilltop in layers. But, yeah, you don't get many vistas like that in Half-Life 2.
Hello, Dr. Freeman.
Well,
Gordon Freeman. And about time, too.
Alyx! Dr. Freeman, you made it.
Hey! Boy, are we glad to be here.
Yeah, we heard you ran into a little trouble out there. Combine's been trying to hit in the front door. I think they learned their lesson.
You mind if we keep dog patrolling out here?
Not at all. You heard him, dog. I'm gonna go see Dad. I'll catch up to you later. You take care of yourself.
I don't think Eli knows you're here yet. He's in Silo 1 access unit, right through here.
Shall we? I don't feel anything anymore.
You and me both.
Oh no, what's that?
Well, now what?
All right, back to work, everyone. It's just another false alarm in the secondary silo.
Let's take a walk.
Same old Dr. Magnuson.
So, have you ever used an AR-2 before?
AR-2? No. Now, an AR-3, sure. Plenty of times.
An AR-3.
Well, see, in the city, the place was lousy with AR-3s.
No, it wasn't.
Hey, Gordon, man, you made it.
Dad!
Alyx!
I was so afraid I wouldn't see you again.
There, sweetheart, we're together now. That's all that matters. And look at you, son. I knew if you both stayed together, you could get through anything.
Yeah? We make a pretty good team.
Yeah, well, that's good, because, well, now that the suppression field's down, we all have to do our part.
Dad?
Can you blame an old man for wanting grandkids? What happened to you?
Dad, it's not what it looks like. I'm fine.
Are you sure? Shouldn't we have that looked at?
Really, I'm fine. Where's Dr. Kleiner? We should get this data to him right away.
Okay. Yes, we should.
I wonder if you've got scars.
Glad for a chance to get out of the silo. This way, Gordon.
Hold on.
In sketching out the scenes for the episode.
Going at it, you'd think they were still competing for grant money.
Some things never change.
Okay, elevator. Hold on, I need to listen to voices.
In sketching out the scenes for the episode, we noticed a lack of interpersonal conflict between the characters who had survived from Half-Life 2. Alyx, Eli, and Dr. Kleiner have a lot of affection for one another, as you will see in many of the scenes. And while we all value the benefit of strong, positive relationships, we were happy to have Dr. Magnuson around to get irritated by all the hugging.
I heard a voice in the background of that recording. What are you doing?
This way, Gordon.
Orbital mapping. Okay. Where's that? That's China. India.
Come on, Gordon.
Yeah, okay, like the Middle East area. Man, that is bright.
You coming?
Yeah, I'm looking at the computers.
You coming?
No time now, Doc.
It means a lot to me to have multi-ethnic heroine. When I was growing up, that didn't happen a whole lot. I mean, maybe Storm from X-Men, I don't know. But it wasn't commonplace. So to have someone that's my type be in that kind of position is really, really amazing. I mean, I think it's a popular trend now, but that wasn't always the case.
It's nice how much things have improved in that area since like the 90s or earlier.
This way, Gordon.
Do we have any idea how long until the super portal's active?
We don't know for certain. We're keeping an eye on it.
And what about the Combine? Will we be able to launch before they attack?
It's going to be close. All it would take is one Strider to destroy our rocket. But we're ready for them.
I'm sorry we couldn't get here any sooner, Dad.
Don't worry, sweetheart. We're going to make it. I'm just so glad to have you back.
I'm glad to be back.
The last thing I was submitting it for the Kleiner certificate of approval. There were troubles behind it with the result of staffing and supply deficiencies. And your cranial control parasite away from my nose cone!
Now listen here, Magnuson. There's no call for hurtful comments. Good grief. Eli, why didn't you tell me they'd arrived?
Don't worry, Izzy. They just got here.
My dear, what a relief. Not to mention a delight to see you here at last. And Gordon, I see you in the HEV suit have taken excellent care of each other.
They're inseparable.
The data, people, the data!
I haven't taken it off in like 3 days.
Think of the satellite, or should I postpone the launch to make time for a family reunion?
All right. I was just saying hello to Alyx and Gordon.
Oh, fine. No one grants me a moment's peace, but by all means, unroll the red carpet.
Good grief. I only meant they might...
I know.
Oh, never mind him. Now, my dear, where is this data packet you've been carrying? If I delay a single moment, I'll never hear the end of it.
You have my word on it.
It's right here, Dr. Kleiner. We've got a ton of data. The strange thing is, it was all attached to a transmission from Judith.
Transmission? From Judith?
Do you mean the message didn't get through?
We've got to see this right away.
Just let me start the decoding process, and then we can view it in the auxiliary control room.
For God's sake, hurry.
Yes, of course.
Another alarm?
Oh, what next in the parade of constant interruption? Hello? Is anyone there? Anyone? False alarm all day. Damn crows have been nesting in the tracks. I do not know how I am supposed to concentrate with all of this racket.
Oops.
Freeman, you're not doing anything. Make yourself useful and find out what the hell is going on in there.
Yes. Gordon, if you don't mind, I'd feel better if you had a look.
Catch up with us when you're done.
Here I go shooting again. What?
Due to the number of characters involved in this scene and the cramped spaces, we found that the actors were constantly pushing the player around in order to get to their marks. We developed some tech that allowed the actors to gauge the position of the player and the other actors, and choose among a selection of marks. This not only solved the congestion problem, but made scenes feel more dynamic.
Dr. Magnuson was a result of a decision to bring forward another signature character from the original Half-Life, along the lines of Dr. Kleiner and Barney. As we developed the character, we kept referring back to this line from Half-Life to keep us on track.
Gordon doesn't need to hear all this. He's a highly trained professional. We've assured the administrator that nothing will go wrong.
Though we liked the character who came into focus, we found that this voice was sounding too much like a caricature for our increasingly grim and realistic world. We like to hire actors with the natural voices that we want for our characters, as opposed to hiring actors to create voice characterizations. In John Aylward, we found someone who could deliver the brusque arrogance of the original lines, and also take the character forward into some of the richer and subtler opportunities we foresee for him.
I do rather like Magnuson.
If you listened closely to the Vortigaunts in the Antlion tunnels, you may have heard one of them using a complaint very similar to Dr. Magnuson's here. Their affinity to Dr. Magnuson has caused some of his mannerisms to spread among them by way of their low-grade telepathy.
I hadn't noticed that. Also, I hope Lamar's going to be alright in there. Having a snooze.
Rather than just make up something that would fit our fantasies of a rocket, we designed Dr. Magnuson's rocket around blueprints from the Titan family of missiles. Grounding the details of our world in reality, making them as precise as possible, makes the invented, fantastic elements seem that much more believable.
I mean, if it was like a futuristic rocket, it wouldn't really make sense because humanity hasn't really had the luxury of developing technologies to that grade the last 20 years. That's also the point, I think, where you would put Noam Chomsky in the rocket if you had managed to carry him all the way from wherever that was where you first pick him up. Beginning of episode 2? I think so. Somewhere. It's a gnome statue. There's an achievement for carrying it. It sticks itself on the car, so you don't have to worry about hauling it with you. I'm pretty sure.
Attention personnel, this is Dr. Magnuson. Since the secondary silo staff seem incapable of solving their little crow problem, you will be happy to hear we have put the popular Dr. Freeman on the job. We all look forward to his remedy, and I look forward to hearing the staff's excuses for why they couldn't handle it themselves. Thank you for your patience.
We intended White Forest to offer a change of pace from the constant action that preceded it. A few moments to reunite with old friends and get to know Dr. Magnuson. A breather before the big battle ahead. However, our first version of the sequence was a logjam of long, talky scenes. Gordon and Alyx stood around listening to Kleiner and Magnuson argue at the top of the silo, then rode an elevator to the bottom of the shaft while Dr. Kleiner lectured them about rockets and satellites. They wandered into a control room to watch Dr. Mossman's transmission, and then hatched a plan to get her back. We knew we were in trouble when even the authors of the scene were bored, and no one had the patience for the revelations that followed. We divided the sequence into a number of smaller pieces that could be interleaved with solitary exploration and some combat. This required rebuilding the path and moving the control room upstairs, where the transmission scene became a reward for surviving the secondary silo. As a result of these changes, the White Forest experience is more varied, the narrative comes in digestible portions, and the players are able to play at their own speed, rather than being led by the nose the entire time.
I don't exactly mind the talking between the characters, because you don't really get too much of it anyway.
This steam jet is an example of something we call a mechanic refresher. It's meant to refresh the player's memory on how to perform a certain task they may not have used in a while. In this case, we remind the player about using valves to turn off steam in a relaxed environment. In the map just ahead, this trick will be fresh in their mind, and they'll be far more likely to realize they can use steam jets tactically when they encounter them in a combat situation.
Enough. Further unauthorized use of the emergency override will be dealt with summarily. Dr. K. Dr. M. Open door.
Well met,
Thank you.
Freeman. The Magnuson has instructed me to admit you into the secondary silo. The secondary silo can be reached through here.
In Half-Life 2, when we first decided to make Vortigaunt ally characters, we played around with having a prominent Vortigaunt companion. Because of their bowed posture and semi-servile manner, this individual was dubbed Heap, after Dickens' character Uriah Heep. In Episode 2, we named the prominent Vort at White Forest Base Uriah. In Episode 3, we'll find out Dickens' unused middle name for Uriah Heep.
Originally created as a minor background character, the Vortigaunt lab assistant, known internally as Labby, was so popular with playtesters that he evolved into a fully developed character with a unique name and a special place by Dr. Magnuson's side.
The Vortessence runs strong in the Magnuson.
Yeah, it is. It's listed there. Uriah, level 9.
For God's sake, Freeman, what is taking you so long? Oh, I cannot concentrate with all of this racket. These feathered fiends are the most persistent I have ever... Wait, what is this?
Hey, an extra pair of hands. Right through here. Magnuson must have sent you.
Well.
Oh my God. Oh dear. This is a breach. A breach. Attention, attention personnel. This is Dr. Magnuson. We are experiencing a breach of internal base defenses. Please bear with us while we pinpoint the location of the breach.
Damn it.
One of the main goals for hunters was to make the player feel he was vulnerable wherever he might hide. This arena in the secondary silo became our testbed for improving the hunter's close combat behavior. A classic combat space, featuring multiple exits and many possible paths, we tuned it for a strong cat-and-mouse gameplay experience. While players have many options for escape, the map is designed so that hunters will never completely lose them, but always be able to pursue and flush the player out of hiding.
I like how the valve here is attached with a washer of wood. Ah, come on. There we go.
Attention, Freeman. It is critical to seal the overhead silo doors and stop this infiltration.
Level designers and artists now have the ability to create unique effects as needed, for gameplay or to add dynamic life to a level. In this case, this simple water leak wouldn't have been possible before without involving a programmer to create a new class of effect. Thanks to the new particle system, unique effects like this are easily created as needed, without any programming. This leak adds a visual point of interest to the area and also blocks direct line of sight into the nearby corridor, without blocking the space itself. These effects can be placed and controlled within levels, attached to animation events of characters, or called by code. Allowing particles to be attached to objects in the world, emitted from a model's hitboxes, and locked to bone positions allows them to serve a wide variety of functions, such as the new Vortigaunt beams or the burning effect of a zombie. We hope this feature will allow level and mod authors to create a wide variety of effects quickly and easily to suit their purposes.
Come on. God's sake, open the silo doors! Come on, get over. You fool! These things, they take time. They tossed my grenade back. Friendlies.
This is Dr. Magnuson, and I am pleased to announce the secondary silo has been sealed. Well, back to work.
Yay, 1 hit point. It's the one that matters.
Here, have a med kit.
Ah, thanks. Can I have another?
Gordon, thank goodness you're okay.
Yeah.
Glad that's over. We couldn't get in till you sealed off the silo when the blast doors opened up.
Regrettably true.
I better let my dad know you're all right.
Take this med kit.
Thank you.
Dad?
Yes, Alex. Is everything okay? Is Gordon all right?
Yes, he's fine. And thanks to him, the base is secure.
Good, good. We're about to watch the transmission from Judas.
We'll head right over.
Take this med kit.
Thank you.
Yes, forward.
Wait a moment. He has to build up to it. Come on.
Here, patch yourself up.
Thank you. Can I get to 100, please?
Take this med kit.
Close. One more. Well, don't look at me like that.
Follow, Freeman.
Yeah, maybe they don't give you one if you're above 90.
Follow, Freeman.
Wait, hang on.
Yes. Whoa. If you would take the Freeman from here, I can return to my place of honor at the side of the Magnusson.
Sure thing. Thanks for the help. Dr. Kleiner told me that Judith headed north in a helicopter right after they got here. But he wouldn't tell me why.
Oh.
I'm fairly sure I've pinned down the location of the project. It's hard to say how much of it might have survived intact or whether there's anything remaining that could compromise our work if it were discovered by the Combine. We'll need to take a close look at it, of course, but I should be able to give a better opinion within a few hours. If the site is where we think it is, then it should be no more than... I'm gonna cut this short. We may have been spotted.
I should never have let her go.
There was no stopping her, Eli. Wait a moment. There's something else here. It's the Borealis.
Good God.
Incredible.
What? The Borealis? It's real?
Oh yes, quite real, despite its almost legendary stature. Our peers at Aperture Science were at work on a project of some promise. But in their rush to beat Black Mesa for funding, they must have compromised ordinary standards of risk.
Like Black Mesa?
Heard their research vessel had simply disappeared, vanished, with all hands, and even part of the dry dock. Few believed the Borealis would ever be seen again.
It should have been lost forever.
Ah, but now that we've found it, we can use it against the Combine.
Did you...
Use it? That thing has to be destroyed.
But think of the advantage for humanity. We can't simply waste all that potential.
Has Black Mesa taught you anything? There's no controlling that kind of power.
Well, yes. There's always a risk, Eli. But my goodness, we have coordinates, blueprints, hailing frequencies. Quite ingenious of Dr. Mossman to hide it all in the carrier wave.
Well, that means she's still alive up there. But if the Combine catch her, they'll tear out everything she knows. There'll be nothing left of her.
But we don't know for sure.
I won't take that chance. I'm going after her.
Dad! Now, Eli, the only thing worse than Judith falling into their hands would be if they should get a hold of you. She may know the particulars of the Borealis, but you know everything about the Resistance.
Listen to Dr. Kleiner, Dad.
St. Gordon, he knows nothing.
More than able to handle this. We'll get her back.
Kleiner, where are you? Why isn't the decoding finished?
Oh, fine. The code. Yes, Magnusson. It just needs a little bit longer.
If you're waiting for the Combine's go-ahead, they'll soon be here to give it to you in person.
I'll hurry it along, Magnusson. I'll be back as soon as I finish.
Dad, are you okay?
Not again. No, I can't. I can't let it happen again. Not another Black Mesa.
You see that?
Dad, prepare for unforeseen consequences.
What did you say?
Dad! Okay. It's okay. Just lean into me. Let's get you off your feet.
Thank you, baby. I'll be fine in a minute or two.
Okay. Do you need anything?
Actually, Alyx, would you mind getting me a cup of tea? There's a hot plate in the old staff room.
I'll be right back. Gordon, just keep an eye on him.
We're not going anywhere. Thank you, baby.
God, it froze.
Unforeseen consequences. The last time I heard those words was back at Black Mesa. You had just stepped into the test chamber when he whispered them in my ear. You know who I'm talking about. Our mutual friend. When he brought in that crystal, I knew I should have aborted that damn test, but I didn't. The whole world went to hell that day. And now he's using my little girl, putting words in her mouth. God damn it. I should have known when he rescued her it was for his own damn reasons. Gordon, there's so much I need to tell you. Between us, we may finally have a chance of,
Here you go. Is everything all right?
There's nothing, honey.
All right, people, change of plans. There is no way we can launch before those Striders are... Oh, excuse me if I'm interrupting tea time. I'll just step out until you've finished, if that's more convenient.
It's all right, honey.
Well, Freeman, I believe I've found the perfect use for you. Follow me, quickly.
One moment.
We'll talk later.
I'll catch up with you in a bit. So a lot of times we'll try a line in several different ways, like set a different mood for a different scene, or maybe just do a different take on a line. Like one might be, it sounds trite, but you know, one excited, one not so excited, or one a little more pensive and thoughtful. Or suggestions are always thrown out there for new reads, and it's the coolest kind of teamwork. It's not just here's your script, go. It's let's work this out. Let's find the best middle ground, and everything is always pliable. You know, if it's not working, maybe we'll go back and do an instant rewrite or something. And for me, that's creative heaven, absolutely.
Aperture Science, being specialized in the development of portal technology, fit naturally into the cosmology of Half-Life. Rather than forcing Portal into the Half-Life franchise, we used it as an opportunity to make our world bigger. By suggesting a long-term rivalry between Aperture Science and Black Mesa, we open up possibilities in both games that didn't exist when they were separate entities.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that Portal was in the same world. Kinda wish you would get like a sort of a lengthy conversation with the character. Just because you don't really get to hear the characters talk about things just sort of plainly. Anyway.
Freeman, Striders are coming. A single one of those damn things could shoot down our rocket. Don't dare launch until all Striders are destroyed. Now, you've proved yourself capable, and the staff seem to respect you. Therefore, I'm putting defense of White Forest and this ingenious new weapon of mine in your hands. We call it the Magnuson device. Not my chosen label, you understand, but it seemed to please the personnel. Now look lively in there. Warm up the delivery port. Whatever you say. Now, what it is a sort of sticky bomb, although cleverer than that makes it sound. From your point of view, you merely pitch the device at the Strider's hull, then blow it up. I've struggled with a mechanism for launching the device, but, well, your zero-point energy field manipulator clears up that little problem. Now follow me, and we'll let you get in some practice while we still have time.
This whiteboard art went through several iterations, from highly stylized
Don't be alarmed,
to
Freeman.
absurd,
This Strider's
through to
days
something
of
we believed we
impaling
could
your
ship.
friends are a thing of the past.
I like how sort of simple it is. What's this here? Like something with a robe on. Like it's fluttering that way and you can see legs. Other mathematical equations. Stuff. I don't know what it is.
The Strider Buster, or Magnuson device, started life as a Half-Life 2 weapon called the Hopwire. This was a weapon that would leap into the air and create physical connections via ropes to the surfaces around it. Once attached, the ball would be suspended in the air, ready for action. We never shipped that weapon because it wasn't generally usable enough in our environments, especially outdoors. One side experiment created the black hole hopwire that the mod community found in Episode 1's code. You can still find videos of this in action on YouTube.
I don't think I've seen that.
The black hole version created a true physical vortex that sucked anything near it into an incredibly dense singularity. This created a small dense block comprised of all the mass and matter the vortex had collected, which the player could then pick up and hurl at enemies. We returned to the hopwire for Episode 2, where we thought we could use it to tie the Strider's legs together and make it trip. But the mechanic of hurling and attaching the Strider Buster was more fun for players, so we moved the weapon in that direction.
One moment. I haven't heard of that weapon before. Interesting.
Now, out in the field, we'll supply you with all the Magnuson devices you need through delivery ports like this one.
For the safety of the base, these devices are deactivated. They cannot explode like those you will find in the field.
Go ahead and take the device out of the dispenser.
You'll
want to use your gravity gun to throw it.
You've got these little portals and you're using them. It's pretty interesting.
That's right. Now toss it at the main body of the Strider.
Oh, I see.
Good. Now, take out the firearm of your choice and shoot the device. There you go. Not too difficult at this range, is it? Gets a bit harder when it's moving about and firing at you, of course. Now, let's move on to a more challenging task. Uriah, send the target to the far end of the rails. Very well. Try it now.
Fans of Half-Life 1 may remember a gag involving a microwave oven in the Black Mesa lunchroom. If you push the microwave button several times, the casserole inside it explodes, a memorable experience for many first-time players of Half-Life. In Episode 2, we thought it was finally time to let you know whose lunch you had ruined, and give you a chance at redemption.
Stop fucking with the microwave! Oh, too far.
A bit more challenging at this range, isn't it?
How many of these do you have?
Magnificent device, isn't it? I'll be right over here when you are ready to head out.
Okay, I'm done.
Had enough? Your car is fueled and ready to go. Now, every building in the valley has its own dispenser port, so you'll have ample supply of explosives. Now, I must get back to my rocket, Freeman. I'm relying on you not to squander my trust, or my Magnuson's. Oh, and Freeman, if you pull this off, I might just forgive you for that debacle at Black Mesa. You know the one I mean, involving a certain microwave casserole.
I'm such a scamp. Oh.
Hey, Dr. Freeman, over here. I've taken a few liberties with your car. Check it out. I added a rack for Magnuson devices back here. I tweaked your onboard radar so the combines show up red on the dashboard unit now. Plus, it'll send a homing signal to your HEV suit in case you get separated from your car. No need to thank me. Now check this map. We're right here at the south end of the valley.
I like how
Rest
he
of the
uses his
gang's
foot.
up north by the old sawmill here. Head on up there, and they'll fill you in on the battle plan. I'll be staying here to watch the field and send status updates. Good luck out there.
Okay.
We wanted players to use the car as much as possible, both to move around the valley quickly and to run over the hunters as a quick and satisfying way of killing them. To encourage this, and to help with orientation problems, we added radar to the car, which indicated the location of enemies. This made the car a more valuable tool in the battle, and solved the navigation problem once and for all.
One problem we faced in this map was that players would abandon their car in the heat of battle and not be able to find it later. Given the time pressure and large scale of the map, some of these players couldn't succeed in protecting the base on foot. To address this, we started by adding flashing hazard lights to the car, which helped when the car was in view, but we still saw players lose the car among the trees or behind hills. Eventually, we added a vehicle locator to the player's HEV suit, so players could find the car wherever it was.
Anything out here? No. Okay.
You'll find the sawmill at the far end of the valley.
Perimeter's clear. Still no sign of incursion.
Before we create any final art, we use placeholders to see if the gameplay is working, and to figure out the proper dimensions and shapes for the model. In this level, we used an old pumpkin model as the placeholder for the Magnuson device. After we decided that the gameplay was fun and the pumpkin worked well, a proper model was created using the pumpkin as a template.
Magnuson pumpkins.
The massive Strider battle was in production longer than any other map in the episode. Tuning it required many months of testing and iteration to address playtester feedback, and this was complicated by the fact that every time we playtested, we saw individuals adopt completely different approaches to defeating the Striders.
One moment. How to put this?
Some threw logs at the hunters, others relied on their rebel companions to kill them. Some players never sprinted, while others never used the car. We tried to keep supporting all the different strategies that occurred to players so that their experiments with tactics would be rewarding rather than frustrating. Meanwhile, we had to make sure the Strider and Hunter behaviors were consistent and balance the experience so that it would be great for all different playstyles at every skill level.
Okay.
A great deal of work went into making sure players would see the buildings get destroyed as they travel around the valley in the final battle. While we cannot and do not wish to force the player to see these events, we try to increase the odds that the player would end up in the best possible position for the show. Measures ranged from simply hiding a Strider behind rocks to setting up complex logic conditions that must be met in order for the destruction to occur.
Episode 2's rocket defense battle was the largest and most non-linear combat experience we had built. It was also the first combat we created that required the use of a vehicle to move from battle to battle. Our design goal was to give players a broad directive, protect the rocket from incoming Striders, and let them decide how to accomplish that. Playtesting revealed a number of challenges that we had to overcome, as the free-form nature of the map led to huge variation in success for different players. Small differences in skill or tactics radically changed the difficulty of the experience for players. In response, we had to continually tune all aspects of the experience to support the wide variety of tactics and skill levels demonstrated in playtests.
Okay. Is there any other... Here's one.
Many players had a hard time orienting themselves in the valley. Before the fight, we send players to the sawmill without telling them how to get there. This was a way of familiarizing them with the map without any time pressure. Still, the size and nonlinearity of the map was confusing for first-time players once the battle began. The loudspeaker announcements that direct players to incoming striders initially referred to compass directions, which most players couldn't follow because they couldn't remember which way was north. We added White Forest Peak as a global landmark and distinctive local landmarks like the cranes and the water tower, and referred to those landmarks in the announcements instead of compass directions. This helped, but some players still had a hard time knowing which way to go at any given moment. Our ultimate solution was the car's radar, which, along with the landmarks, helps players go where the action is.
It's kind of interesting that if they were trying to give the player directions based off of a compass, they didn't add a compass to the HEV HUD. Like, you've got a little radar down there you can see now, which tells you where the car is. That's basically a compass. Just one which is always pointing towards the car. I can understand that they wanted to keep the UI elements to a minimum, but... well... You see games now and they have like the little compass bar pointing up at the top of the screen, like up here. And I think that's usually fine, even if you're trying to keep things minimal.
So,
But using landmarks, I think, is better than
We've counted a dozen
compass
striders
points.
just north of us. Our job is to keep them from reaching the base to the south. If they get close enough for one good shot at the silo, the whole launch is a bust. And in case striders aren't bad enough, recon indicates they're being escorted by packs of hunters. Now, what I want you to do...
Attention! North perimeter breach.
All right, people, this is it.
We have a strider approaching from the cranes.
Defensive positions, go! Oh boy, here we go. Everyone ready? Stop him here. Remember, we get distracted while Freeman takes him down. Oh man, this is gonna be bad.
Ah, he shot it. Damn it! You little jerkbag.
Target is the Magnus. Take out the hunter. Keep up the good work, White Freeman.
Strider at the sawmill.
There's the second one.
Keep an eye out. Looks like hunters are traveling with the striders. They're working in packs.
They're moving in herds.
More health over here.
Now we have a strider coming in from the water tower.
Where's the water tower? Striders move pretty quick. I have to listen to these other ones afterwards. I like to imagine they've just got a big storage room of these things. Just like corridors filled with them.
The Hunter's escort behavior includes specific formations and flanking strategies. This environment was designed specifically to enhance those behaviors by providing cover and visually interesting paths. In this way, the environment reinforces the design of the Hunter as stealthy, aggressive, and intelligent.
Players under pressure can overlook basic tasks, so we try to make the important ones foolproof. On this map, players often forget to check their health level, but rarely forget to seek out Magnuson's devices. We narrow doorways and set health supply racks right by the entries, so that players rushing in to get explosives will find themselves automatically picking up plenty supplies.
Another Strider coming in towards what used to be the sawmill.
Gonna have to get my car off that rock. Expertly parked. I wonder if they tried to do this with combat soldiers.
A Strider has been spotted by the crane.
As backup, that is. Might have found that made things. That made things a bit too difficult. Oh. I'm glad these balls take them out in one shot. Oy. You know what would be useful? If you could zoom in your view slightly. So I can take a closer look at the radar and all. Anyone else?
Tower.
You don't get to jump out of the way.
Wait a minute. Get ready, everyone. We've spotted drop ships carrying even more Striders. We have about a minute before they hit, so gear up. This is gonna get ugly before it's over.
And I launched this at that. I'm gonna try. See if I can do that. Oh, I think it bounced off. Nah, it bounces off. Boo!
just spotted at the sawmill. One more at the crane.
Back we go. I'll sod you. Close.
Attention! Attention! The Striders have been defeated! All personnel return to base immediately! Repeat! All personnel return to base immediately!
Okay. Oh, nope. Surprise round. I didn't capture yet. No!
We made some small changes to our autosave system as a result of tuning the final Strider battle. Autosaves are the periodic checkpoints where we can restart the player's game after death, so that they don't have to worry about replaying more of the game than necessary. In playtests, we observed that most players depended on our autosaves to restart after dying, rather than using their own quick saves. But because the fight allowed players so much freedom, some players ended up with an autosave that left them in a no-win situation. Low on health and pinned down by hunters, or too far from the base to defend the rocket in time, some players failed 30 or more times before finally giving up. To address the no-win situation, we extended our autosave system to monitor health over time, and to only perform the autosave if the player was deemed safe for a reasonable period of time. We also prohibited autosaves when Striders were within a certain distance of the base. This ensured there was always enough time to defeat them.
I believe they mentioned that in Half-Life 2, so it's a mechanic which they've had from the original release. Or maybe they back-implemented it? I don't know. There was something about, like, they didn't make autosaves when the within, like, I don't know, 30 seconds of the player being hurt or something like that.
To create a climactic finish to this level, we ramped up strider density and citizen presence, and then systematically destroyed outer installations in order to move the action as uncomfortably close to the base as possible. It was important to us that everybody be able to play to the end of the episode, but we also wanted them to feel that defeating the striders required a heroic effort. A balance had to be achieved between the feeling of being overwhelmed and the possibility of completing the level. We made many trade-offs to keep the experience enjoyable while keeping the intensity high, and sometimes this required removing enemies. For example, elite Combine soldiers originally took part in this invasion, running in and around the striders and hunters, but this additional level of enemy fire proved frustrating for players, and so they were removed.
I was just wondering whether they originally had soldiers during it. It makes sense, but yeah. Without having a squad following you around, dealing with, like, small arms fire like that would be a bit much. And having to hunt them out through all the buildings and so on. Was there any other... points which I missed? I remember this bit of the game. Though it was more just sort of a vague, yeah, there's a moment where you're like fighting a whole bunch of striders in a forest. Seeing anymore. Commentary notes. I got that one, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay. Yay.
Hey! Gordon Freeman!
Yeah, Gordon!
Wow!
Hey.
Freeman!
Did I hear Bonnie there?
Thanks for clearing out the yard, Freeman. Heck of a job. Good going.
Okay.
Wow, Gordon. You were amazing out there.
Eh.
Come on.
Things blew up. Slice.
Launch is in its final stages. The portal's close to opening, but Dr. Magnuson sure will be in time to stop it.
Complete.
Tracking beacon. Oh, there's another bit of cruft we can ignore. Support equipment powered down. Hold on a moment, Kleiner. Ah, Freeman. Well, I see the Magnuson device performed flawlessly. I feel compelled to thank you personally for saving my rocket. So, thank you. Well, that's enough chit-chat. I've got a rocket to launch.
Wow. For a minute there, I thought you were going to get a hug.
Powered and ready.
Check, check, check.
Let's go to the control room. We can get a great view of the launch from there.
Did you do that? What's this one? Flight termination system check links with backup range safety sites?
Oh, that must be an ancient entry. There are no backup sites. If we fail, the best we can hope is that the rocket falls on the enemy. Now, inertial navigation systems. Safety test of FTS.
Completed, of course.
Ground and high altitude wind.
Well, the precision of those readings is not to my liking, but we'll have to make do with what we have.
Guidance, computer voltages, and currents?
Reporting normal.
FTS switched over to internal power.
Naturally, some time ago.
And armed?
Of course.
Don't ever say of course. We can't take anything for granted.
No, of course not.
No. Avionics to internal power.
Yes, yes.
It constantly amazes me how many people are involved in creating her, because everyone who is involved seems to have the same vision for her. And for so many people to have one mind about a character, it blows my mind. I mean, very rarely do I get a piece of direction or script that doesn't ring true to how I feel about Alyx, and vice versa. And strangely enough, as soon as I try something out and something doesn't ring true, I'm usually not the first person to say it. Even though I might be feeling it, somebody else will say it. And it's just, I guess, a testament to how in tune everybody is about what kind of person Alyx is, and what she would do, what she wouldn't do, and, you know, what kind of girl she is.
Okay.
While you were out having fun, I found an old helicopter that I was able to get working. I've got it all packed up and ready to go. Never a dull moment, huh?
Wait a moment. I'm seeing a payload anomaly of
I want to sleep.
8.5 pounds.
I'm running on empty.
Certainly not worth scuttling.
We're back.
At last.
Ah, Gordon. Hell of a job you did out there, son.
Let's not forget that with the Magnuson device, those Striders practically destroy themselves.
Yes. Well, I think perhaps Gordon had something to do with their success.
I suggest we adjourn this meeting of the Mutual Admiration Society until after we have launched our rocket. Now, I believe we're ready to start the auto sequence.
Nice.
I believe Gordon should have the honor.
You'll hear no objection from me.
I know rocket scientist. Hold on.
The launch of Magnuson's rocket ties directly into the rocket Gordon launched at Black Mesa. Here, the portal satellite array that opened the gate to Zen in Half-Life 1 has been repurposed to shut the Combine out. This is just another example of the way we constantly try to weave the old threads of the Half-Life story into the new episodes.
Yes. Lunch. Okay.
Silo doors open. Stations, everyone. Power to main thrusters. Steady on.
T-minus 10, 9,
We're launching.
8, 7, 6, 5,
Steady.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah!
We did it!
Wow. We sure did.
I was getting control of myself.
Yes!
Fantastic.
Deep breath. Deep breath. Now it is still too early to celebrate. We need to reach altitude and transmit the signal.
Too right. The clock is ticking.
We couldn't have cut it any closer if that was our intention.
It is going to work, right?
It has to.
Once the rocket is in range of the portal, we'll be able to switch on the xenium resonator.
Well, let's get outside. I'd like a better view of the fireworks.
There should be quite a show. Regrettably, I can't come out with you. Magnuson and I will need to keep a close eye on the rocket's trajectory.
Aren't you gonna see us off?
Just as soon as this is wrapped up, I wouldn't dream of letting you go without a proper goodbye.
Okay, I'll hold you to that. You too, Dr. Magnuson.
Indeed.
We'll catch up with you in a moment, sweetheart.
I wonder how long it takes for the smoke to disappear.
Gordon, hold up a second.
There you are.
The more I think about that warning from our friend, the more I'm convinced it has to do with Borealis. Don't be deceived. That ship must never be used. You have got to destroy it. whatever the cost.
Where are you two? You're gonna miss it.
Be right there, Alyx. Gordon, thanks for everything you've done. For Alyx, for all of us. I couldn't be prouder if you were my own son. Now, when you get back, we've got a lot to talk about.
Come on!
Eli, Gordon, Alyx,
Dear
look
God,
at the portal!
this has to work.
We've activated the resonator. This is it!
Oh
my goodness!
Yes!
The portal has been neutralized!
You did it! You did it, Gordon!
We sure as hell did, and not a moment too soon.
I'll bet the Combine aren't too happy right now.
You got that right, sweetheart. But we've got plenty to celebrate. I wish you didn't have to head off so soon. If only it weren't so critical.
It's okay, Dad. We'll find Judith and bring her back. Dog? Hey, where are you? What a nut. Don't go too far.
Episode 2's backgrounds or vistas are created in a manner that fuses traditional 2D animation techniques, using linear cards moving against each other to imply parallax, and a modern digital take which involves placing these cards in a 3D environment and manipulating their size and distance from camera depending on the scale needed. A series of cards can sit in front of a 3D skybox, and with the addition of atmosphere or fog, a realistic result can be achieved.
I just wish all this didn't have to fall.
Developing the Half-Life episodes allows us to steadily flesh out the details in an ongoing cosmic struggle. Most of this conflict remains far in the background, but little by little, we are able to bring new elements up front. One of our goals for Episode 2 was to fully develop the grub-like advisors, first glimpsed in Half-Life 2. In Episode 1, they make several brief appearances but have no direct effect on the events in the game. In Episode 2, we deliberated on how soon to show them becoming active and decided to pull back the veil in stages. Therefore, we first see them being hauled around by Combine troops, completely passive. Next, we see one waking up from incubation, still somewhat groggy, and beginning to discover its power. But by the end of the episode, the advisors come fully into their own, front and center, as characters with a huge impact on the story.
Oh, and I did see that earlier, but heading off to bed, Kibbitz, so thanks for joining. I hope you have a good rest. You're probably gone now, but yeah.
To create the Eli death sequence, we talked it through in great detail. Wrote up an outline with all the events we discussed.
We weren't playing this because we didn't know what happened.
We used rough sketches painted over screenshots and a variety of crude special effects and sounds to create a quick pre-visualization of how the scene would play out. Not only did this help us to converge on a shared vision for the scene, but by working rough, we were able to quickly iterate until we had a design worth implementing in the game.
The decision to kill Eli was not made lightly, and once we'd made it, we had to figure out how to make it meaningful. We'd already established Eli's frailty as well as his importance to the Resistance and Alyx's devotion to him, so from a narrative point of view, the impact of his death seemed obvious. The hard part would be the execution. The advisor's ability to immobilize the player gave us a way to stage the scene. Then the animations and the sound design made it believable. But none of this would have been enough without inspired performances by Merle Dandridge and Robert Guillaume.
Interesting that the text in that box was actually cut off a little bit on the right there.
This final episode 2 scene was unbelievable. Before we even started working on it, the team sat me down and they kind of did a little show and tell of the rough animation that they had. And I think they were hesitant to show it to me, but just from that rough animation, I was so moved. I mean, just immediately moved to tears. I felt like I'd just been gut punched, and I immediately felt it. And I was like, let's go, let's get on this. So it shouldn't surprise me. It shouldn't surprise me by now, because I've been working on Alyx for so long now. But every time we come to the table to do a new scene or lay down some new material, I am always blown away. And this scene was just the epitome of that feeling. I was so pumped to get in there and start working on it. And they're always upping the ante and always taking it to the next level. But this time, this scene is different. Because this time, Alyx loses. And I think this is it is a major sacrifice. You see her carrying around the wounds of her mother that she lost, but her dad made her who she is. Her dad taught her, her dad groomed her, and I think, most importantly, he loved her. And this script was a gift and a gut punch all in one. I don't know. When you give me something like that, it really motivates me to kind of try to knock it out of the ballpark. I love playing Alyx, and I have to say, it's definitely my favorite acting job I've ever had, hands down.
I wonder if they had recorded any voice lines for episode 3 at this point. It makes sense to have some of it already done.
I think so. Dr. Kleiner gave us the Borealis coordinates. We'll keep the hailing frequency open on the chopper radio in case Judith...
This would have been a nice moment to actually see the world from above for a while. That might have been more than the engine could do at the time, though.
Dad!
Alyx!
Dad! Oh. Get away!
Listen to me. Destroy that ship. Whatever it takes. Destroy it.
Don't! Dad, look out! No! Dad! Dad! God damn it, let go of him! Oh my God!
I love you, sweetheart. Close your eyes, honey.
I love you, Dad!
Don't look.
No! Oh my God, no! No! Gordon! No! Dad! Oh, God. Dad! Dad! Dad, please! Dad! Oh my God! No! No! Oh my God! Dad! No! Don't leave me!
Yeah. There you go. To be continued at some point. Yeah, heck of a thing to leave the game on. But, oh well. I like that Valve didn't change the developer commentary. At least, like, the ones referencing episode 3. I feel like some companies would go back and, like, scrub mentions to it because they, you know, either they drop plans of actually doing it, but I like that Valve kept them in. Because it's like, well, at the time they were planning on continuing with it, and then they just never did, so. Until, like, Half-Life Alyx, of course, but that's a prequel. Which I do need to play at some point. If my wallet could survive the costs of getting a VR headset. Might be a little bit. Oh well, whatever. It was like, how long since I played this? This came out in 2007, so nearly 2 decades. I think Alyx came out in 2020, was it? Like 4 years ago now, man. Just quickly. I'd also have to, like, build up my tolerance for VR, I think, I'd have to start off with some simpler things beforehand, probably on my own time. Ugh. Yes. Such an intriguing end to episode 2. A hint of big things coming. I do like seeing all the character interactions at the end. I kind of wish that they had more of them. I just like seeing the characters talking about things and learning about the setting. It's like, overall, the storyline for Half-Life is kind of a simple aliens invade story. But there's a lot of other elements to it, which make it a lot more intriguing. Just like... I don't know. How people react to it all? Make it a lot more interesting than some other settings. It makes it difficult to guess where it would end up going. Yeah. Anyway, fun game. You can certainly see how they improved on things in episode 2. And it was quite a bit longer than episode 1. I do remember one of the criticisms of episode 1 was that it was quite short when it came out. Which, I mean, it was an episode, right? To be part of a trilogy. And that was also part of the reason why episode 3 never came around, because they felt like they had to make episode 2 bigger in response to episode 1. Just kind of missing the point a bit. Anyway, whatever. Episode 1 was like 3.5 hours. Episode 2 here was 7 hours? Like double the length. It's still good. Quality of the game is still really high all the way through. But yeah. Anyway. That was all of the Half-Life 2 stuff. I don't think there's anything else. There's probably... Well, there is Portal and Portal 2, since that does kind of tie into Half-Life 2. But Portal 2 mostly. Portal 1 doesn't, as far as I remember. Aside from maybe some offhand comments that said it in the same world. But Portal 2 really does a lot more of, like, exploring Aperture Science's place in the same world as Black Mesa. I haven't played those for quite a while either. They have a lot more puzzle games, which is fun. I do like them. Portal Gun's really neat. But I don't know if I've played through Portal 2 since it came out. I've only played it single player. It's actually got a multiplayer mode in it, which I haven't played. Oh well, that'll be it for Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you join me again next time for whatever I can come up with.